Ashtavakra Gita, Chapter 2, Verse 21. Oh, I do not find any duality. Even the multitude of human beings, therefore, has become like a wilderness. What should I attach myself to? The sage is saying that he is not finding any duality, and he is saying, in the midst of people, I see oneness. And what I see has become like wilderness. What should I attach myself to? The sage is talking about the observer and the observed here. Let's understand what the sage is saying exactly. And how to make this verse as part of our daily lives. In case you would like to listen to the previous verses, I have added the playlist link in the description where you can find all the verses. When sage says wilderness, he is talking about this world. He is just referencing this world or nature as wilderness. Why does the sage refer to this world as wilderness? Because in the wilderness or in the forest is where there are varieties. He is talking about these varieties that we see in this world. That is the reason the sage is giving a reference to wilderness or the forest. He just means the varieties that we see. Why does he have to talk about the varieties? Let us see a little in depth. The varieties are the one which create the differences. And when we observe carefully, these varieties are something which will attract us. Once we see differences, is when we would get attracted to it. If it is not different, then we would not want it. Right? This attraction is something that will lead us to desire. And this desire is the root of all suffering. The sage is directly telling us to see the root of all the suffering. The sage is telling us to observe our daily lives. Observe our thoughts and actions. Observe the varieties that we see. Observe the varieties that we are attracted towards. And then the sage is asking us, is all this varieties predictable? Let's look at our life. Aren't our desires predictable? Aren't our sufferings predictable? It might look different, but if we get into the depth of it, it's all the same. We might say it's different every time, but it has happened with us before as well. And now the situations or the way we look at it would be different. If this is the case, then can this be stopped? How can this be stopped? The sage is saying this can be stopped by seeing. Let's understand what is this seeing. This seeing, what the sage is telling, is nothing but deep observation, deep inquiry. With inquiry, we will be able to see the observer and the observed. And the reason to see this observer and the observed is to see all the impurities that we have accumulated in our lives. We need to see this without any judgment. If we see completely without any judgment, that's it. The nature itself is like it doesn't need impurity. Our nature is not to have impurity and go ahead with it. We just have to see it. If we see it clearly without any judgment, then it's gone. Only if we see it just on the surface, then we would be okay with it. If we see it completely, then it's gone. There's no play. When we start this practice of seeing, we might feel that it's not helping, and it's just that I'm seeing a snapshot of events. But with practice, there comes a stage where the observer becomes aware at the time of action. And in later stages, the observation would be more clear. And the awareness is much ahead of the action. We would have a choice much ahead of performing the action rather than repenting or suffering later. With this stage, there will be no differences that we see in this world. When there is no differences outside, there'll be no differences inside. There is no duality. This is what the sage is saying, that I don't see any duality. Everything would be one. This oneness is beyond space and time. We would not be caught in the loop of repetition. There is nothing new in the world, hence there is no attraction. If there is no attraction, what do I desire from this world? And if there is no desire, there is no attachment. Attachment is only with something which is limited to the mind. There is no attachment with the ultimate. And when we say ultimate, it is that completion where you can't get attached to it. There's only love to this completion. With this non-attachment, there would be a beautiful relationship with this world. The limitedness would just be with an intention of consumption, and these limited things would be gone. If all limited things in this world are the same, then there is no need for consumption. There is no desire for consumption. Person will live with desire and die with desire. Life is nothing other than the wheel of these desires. And suffering is nothing but the desires itself. With the blessings of saints, we have an opportunity to see this wheel of desires. The sage is helping us to see that the observer and observed are one. When everything is one, then we will not be participating in this infinite wheel with our intentions, with our jealousy and our desires. And this non-participation is bliss.